When reports started going around that Austin Lee Russell, better known as Chumlee, had been given a life sentence, Pawn Stars fans were shocked. No one saw this coming. Chumlee, who was known for being laid back and having funny moments on the show, got himself into a lot of legal problems. Pawn Stars has been entertaining people for years by showing the interesting world of pawn shops, rare artifacts, tough talks, and the daily drama that happens in Rick Harrison's famous Las Vegas pawn shop. Chumlee's TV career was going great until now, when it took a dark and shocking turn. But what did he do to receive such a harsh punishment? So bear with us as we look into what changed Chumlee's life so drastically and the specifics of this shocking case. Reno, Nevada's Austin Chumlee Russell was born on September 8, 1982. He is a famous American businessman and TV host. When he was 12, his friend's dad called him that name because his face looked like a walrus from the cartoon Tennessee Tuxedo. He has been known as Chumlee ever since. They became best friends when they were kids. It was Corey's dad, Rick, and his grandpa, Richard, who opened the pawn shop in 1989. That's where Pawn Stars took place. When he was 21, Chumlee started working at the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop. After 5 years, shooting for Pawn Stars began in July 2009. Working behind the desk, testing items, loading goods, and writing tickets for customer sales are some of his duties at the store. Sad to say, his father died of pancreatic cancer just 2 weeks before Pawn Stars premiered on the History Channel. The show was made possible by the company Left Field Pictures. They chose to hold the show at the famous Gold and Silver Pawn Shop in Las Vegas, Nevada, which is owned by a family. The store was open all day and night. The idea behind the show is easy to understand. The show follows the pawn shop owner and his workers as they go about their daily business. They buy, sell, and look over interesting things that people bring in. A lot of people liked Pawn Stars. More people watched it than any other show on the History Channel, or TV in general, second only to Jersey Shore. Chumlee is the weirdo on the show, and people often make fun of him for not being very smart. But he has shown that he is good at pinball games, which impressed Corey in one episode. The show's fans quickly made Chumlee their favorite cast member and fan favorite. Because the show did so well, he started his own business to sell novelty items that he created and to handle his public appearances. By 2010, he was able to sell Rick Harrison half of his business for almost $160,000. This made it easier for the pawn shop to handle sales for goods. His goods sold better than those of other group members because he was so well known. She has always worked hard, though. He said that his first job was as an assistant manager at McDonald's before Rick bought a Quiznos. Chumlee was asked to run it, and he did so while also starting to work at the pawn shop. He worked hard at both jobs for 135 days straight, without taking a day off. He eventually started working full-time at the shop at the same time that the show became more famous, and the rest is history. Rick was thrilled with how well the show did and how much people liked watching him. People really liked the show, so he, Corey, and Chumlee played themselves in an episode of iCarly called I Lost My Head in Vegas. As part of a plot about a lost item, they interact with the main characters in the episode, which is a fun mix for fans of both shows. On the show, Chumlee is known for being fun. He likes to joke around and make fun of Rick a lot, which makes the show fun to watch. It seems like their friendship is real. That's why people like to watch them. They seem to be being themselves. Rick has also said that he and Chumlee have worked together for almost 20 years and are very close, almost like family. His fun personality stands out against Rick's serious attitude, which makes it fun to watch them interact. Why is Pawn Stars so popular? A big reason is that fans love how friendly and funny Chumlee and Rick are. They've bought and sold a lot of things on the show. Some were really great deals, but some weren't so great. When we talk about good things, Chumlee's life has had some bad ones too, mostly because of the choices he made, to be honest. He was caught in 2016 after police searched his apartment as part of a probe into a sexual assault. Even though he wasn't charged with sexual abuse, the search turned up some strange things. Crystal meth, marijuana, Xanax, and methamphetamine were among the drugs that the police found, along with several guns. Signs of possible drug use were also discovered. A number of the guns were not registered, which adds to the legal problems. Chumlee was jailed, but the next day he was freed on bond and told to go to court a few days later. He was charged with almost 20 felonies, some of which were drug and gun crime. His lawyer, David Chesnoff, stated that Chumlee pleaded guilty to illegally possessing a firearm, which was a felony, and to attempted drug possession, which was a gross misdemeanor. As part of the plea deal, he will have to go through 3 years of counseling and probation. Besides the initial investigation, he was charged with having drugs and an illegal gun, which had legal effects that were separate from the investigation. Due to not being listed, he had to give up some of the guns. He was told to stay out of trouble, and the media didn't pay much attention to him while he was in jail. This is why reports about death threats and life sentences began to spread. Chumlee stayed clean the whole time, and his charges were dropped to misdemeanors, which stayed on his record. When Chumlee broke the law, it was a low point for him. Many people were shocked because they thought of him as Pawn Stars' cheerful mascot. The arrest record for Chumlee Pawn Stars was just made public. That being said, something could be going on behind the scenes, but it looks like he's learned his lesson. If he keeps on the right track, he has a lot to look forward to. That would mean he would be fired, and not even the most dedicated Pawn Stars fans would be interested in him after that. Even though he's been in trouble with the law, Chumlee is still an important character on Pawn Stars and opened a popular candy shop that did very well. In addition to the pawn shop, he now runs a candy business and an antiques shop. This shows that he can handle running more than one business. Chumlee expanded his business interests in June 2017 when he opened Chumlee's Candy on the Boulevard in Las Vegas. It is a nostalgic candy shop. Business people who are smart. He's going to open his own candy store in downtown Las Vegas. In fact, the store has a wide range of classic and one-of-a-kind sweets, such as old favorites like Abba and Pez, as well as several types of Jones drinks. The store also sells souvenir keychains and limited edition items like signed bobbleheads. The store has become a popular place for tourists to go because it is right next to the gold and silver pawn shop. A lot of people have said nice things about the shop's sweets and the chance to meet Chumlee. The store is busy on social media, telling followers about new products and events on a regular basis. Overall, Chumlee's Candy on the Boulevard has become a successful business, with familiar items and one-of-a-kind items making customers happy. Chumlee often posts updates on Instagram that give people a look into his personal and professional life. As a major figure in the candy, pawn shop, and collectibles businesses, he keeps trying new things. He consistently shows that he can handle a wide range of tasks while still enjoying life to the fullest. Chumlee chose to make some hard choices so that he could enjoy life to the fullest. He chose to face his weight head-on. He chose to lose weight in part because his girlfriend told him to. He also wanted to get healthier, though. As we already said, his father died of pancreatic cancer 2 weeks before Pawn Stars premiered. He was 54 years old. This taught Chumlee how important it was to stay healthy. Chumlee started living a healthier life by cutting back on red meat, eating more veggies, and skipping junk food. A drink in the morning, a healthy diet, and working out 6 days a week were all things he did. To lose weight, he kept changing what he ate and how often he worked out. He focused on eating better and working out daily. He lost more than 75 pounds and hasn't put it back on. A lot of people who have followed his trip have been moved by his change. He felt better in his body and in his mind after losing weight. He made this choice not only to change the way he looks, but also to live a longer, better life. And so far it has worked out for him. He was having a great time and everything was going well until he realized it wasn't enough in his life. Again, his weight was the main thing that worried him. He made the choice to go through a major change that would make his mobility and quality of life much better. He chose to have surgery because of this. Before she decided to have gastric bypass surgery, Chumlee made a list of the reasons she wanted it. Everyone knew that he had dropped weight in the past by dieting and working out, but that he eventually put on some weight back on. He decided that instead of keeping up with the ups and downs with his weight, he would get bariatric surgery for a more permanent answer. Following surgery, he lost an amazing 160 pounds. To be honest, a lot of reality TV stars have had surgery to lose weight. Angela Deem, who had been engaged for 90 days, and Tammy Slayton, whose sister weighed 1,000 pounds and lost 420 pounds after the treatment. After losing a lot of weight, Chumlee was able to do things that he couldn't do before. For example, he was finally able to ride a helicopter after losing enough weight to do so. Before, he had not been able to do this. His dramatic change after gastric bypass surgery became clear in 2021, but losing weight is still an important part of his story. He lost over 150 pounds, which not only made his health better, but also opened up new chances for him and changed the way he saw life. As of 2024, Chumlee's Candy on the Boulevard is still open and selling a range of classic and new candies. People have said nice things about the store's selection of standard candies and one-of-a-kind items. On the other hand, there have been no new posts on the store's main Instagram account since October 7th of last year. In his most recent post, Chumlee talked about how sad he was about the death of his beloved dog Forrest. This showed a softer side of himself. In December, Chumlee showed up at the candy shop in person. I used to play a lot, but not as much these days. I still play a bit. Chumlee said it was cool to grow up with Nintendo. I loved this game as a child because it reminds me of old Nintendo games like Kung Fu. Making your own video game has become very common, so I thought it would be fun to do it. Some fans love these kinds of games, so my friends and I put together a really cool one. These are games that were made by independent developers for older game systems and are usually only available in limited physical editions. Chumlee's adventure, The Quest for Pinky, fits into this niche market, which includes fans and people who like old video games. In the game, players take control of Chumlee and help him save his beloved dog Pinky. The action is standard side-scrabbling like in older platform games. They face problems, enemies, and hidden shocks along the way. Chumlee hinted at a special task for gamers who really want to play. You'll be able to see some cool hidden stuff if you can finish the game without getting hit. Both Pawn Stars fans and people who collect old video games have said good things about the game. It takes you back to the good old days of gaming and celebrates Chumlee's fun personality. That silly, fun attitude came back, which made fans happy. There was big news from San Diego Comic-Con 2024 that the Pawn Stars star shared on his Chumlee_collects Instagram with a bright towel that looked like Keith Haring's famous 1980s art and was inspired by graffiti. Chumlee looked cool and casual. His noticeably slimmer body says that he has been able to keep off the weight he lost after surgery. In his post, Chumlee drank coffee from a Japanese-themed mug with cat and mountain designs while showing off his newest Pokemon cards with pride, a longtime interest of his. He wrote that San Diego Comic-Con 2024 was amazing when he thought back on his time there. I've made stronger ties with people I just met and met some great people I've looked up to for years. It was a great time all around. I hope to see all of you at the next show. It's now Monday again, so let's play some Pokemon cards. #Chumlee, #Pokemon, and #Pawn Stars for Chumlee. This gathering was a big deal. Robert Downey Jr. even showed up out of the blue, which made Marvel fans very happy. Comic-Con gave Chumlee the chance to meet some of his other stars. In a post on Chumlee_collects, he shared a picture of himself with 3 well-known comic book and antiques artists. They are Stan Sakai, Mitsuhiro Arita, and Todd McFarlane. This was a dream come true for Chumlee because he got to meet and talk with some of the biggest people in comics and collectibles. When Chumlee got back from California, he shared more of his collectibles, such as a fancy desktop set with cute Pokemon figures. He seemed fully at ease as he sat in his slippers and relaxed at home. Some fans even said, "Chum's voice is so soothing, we should get an audiobook from him." Those fans loved his update. It's clear that Chumlee is still very excited about getting friends and maintaining relationships with them. It's nice to see Chumlee commit to a healthier and more satisfying way of life. He seems to have forgotten about his court problems and is now enjoying the simple things in life. An interesting change has happened to Chumlee, who has spent a lot of his life in the spotlight. He used to be in a lot of legal trouble, but now he lives a more relaxed and happy life, focusing on his hobbies and making real bonds with other people. Chumlee has been pretty quiet in recent years, but he isn't completely unknown. But many people still know a lot about his story on Pawn Stars and how impressively he got fit. Even though he doesn't use his main Instagram account very often, he still has over 800,000 loyal friends. His followers will definitely be eager to interact with him if he decides to post more. There's clearly something interesting about Chumlee that keeps people interested. He is a very interesting character because he is both funny and serious at the same time. Chumlee's journey has been nothing less than amazing. He has been through the highs and lows of fame with grace, from working in a pawn shop as a young man to becoming a reality TV star, business owner, and collector. His change, both physically and mentally, shows that he can adapt and grow, showing that failures don't have to decide the course of a person's life. Even though she has been in trouble in the past, Chumlee is still a popular character in pop culture. He's still one of the most loved reality TV stars because he can connect with fans and make them feel good about meeting him. It's clear that he still likes being in the spotlight, but now on his own terms since he went to Comic-Con. As porn stars do, America keeps giving him new experiences. While he tries out different business ideas, one thing is for sure, Chumlee is not going away. With a new focus on hobbies, health, and making relationships that matter, his story is still being written.